welcome to the Circus of Crazy, also known as the world. I am your ringmaster, GalaxyOfInk, here to take you through the crazy acrobatics of life. And I have bad eyesight. I may have had it for like over a year now. I'm not really sure. I never really kept track of it. It just kind of happened, and suddenly I had a doctor's appointment and I couldn't see 20/20 anymore. So apparently it's been like that for a while, and I just didn't really pick up on it until I was faced with the facts and I had to go get glasses. But this is my first time in a store? Department office. I still don't know anything. So they had to give my eyes the exam. I don't know if you do it every time. I literally know nothing about this topic, which I think means it makes for a good video. First things first, I walk in there already knowing about how the glasses industry basically is all run by one company, so all the glasses are way more overpriced than they should be. I'll link below, or maybe add at the end, the video that I'm referencing to get this information from, which is Adam Ruins Everything, of course, my fave. But he did a whole thing about it, so I already knew just how overpriced everything was gonna be, but I didn't know quite how overpriced. I walk over to the first set of glasses that caught my attention, and they did happen to be men's, and the ones that I bought happened to be men's, but I picked them up, I'm like, wow, you know, these are cool, you know, nice plastic glasses, big squarish frame, turned them to the side, $260. It's plastic. Why is it $260? It's literally just plastic. It says on the frame that you're plastic. Why are you $260? I don't know the exact specifications of this, but shouldn't plastic be less money? I mean, the only things of like any worth that would equal up to like $200 should be, you know, the lens, right? Am I wrong about that? It's plastic. I still don't understand this, clearly. After browsing for a few minutes in the men's section, which I didn't know, like, honestly, I just walked over to the first section and I just, like, kind of ignored the fact that it was all men doing the modeling in that part, because I was like, oh, I like some of these styles. My mom comes over and she's like, you're in the men's section. And I'm like, okay. See, I don't care. And also, the style that I wanted for my glasses was probably going to be more likely men's. You'll see them pretty soon. They should be coming at the end of this week. I'm filming this Wednesday. But I don't have them right now, and that's okay. Anyway, eventually, like, the nurse for eyes, I don't know what their names are, calls me in and has me sit down in this chair, and she's like, okay, we're gonna put some air on your eye, just a little puff of air. And I'm like, why? First question, aren't eyes, like, naturally gonna water up anyway? Like, by the time that the doctor called me in, my eyes were already, like, wet again. So I don't understand the purpose of the air thing. I don't know, did you, like, spray some sort of chemical in my eye that made it easier to see something? If so, you should have told me that. You said it was a puff of air. I don't understand. What is the purpose of this? But she sat me down in this chair, right? And I'm short. I know you guys can't tell because I'm constantly sitting down, but I'm really short. So when I sit down in this chair, immediately the place where I'm supposed to put my head and everything is like up, so I'm leaning up, and she's like, stop moving, please, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do that, like, because it wasn't centered, and I didn't want to admit that it wasn't centered because I don't like the fact that I'm short. So eventually she figured it out for herself somehow and just, like, centered it without telling me, which was nice of her. That was very nice of her. But after that, while you're sitting in that chair, they tell you before you sit into it, we're gonna blow a puff of air in your eye. And I'm thinking of the worst possible thing ever. I'm thinking of, like, that famous, like, Clockwork Orange picture of, like, them holding the eye open with metal pincers while they just, like, blowtorch hot air into my eye or something. That was what I was picturing immediately. But instead, it was actually a little bit weirder. So they sit you down in this thing, and there's this little light. And if you're, I guess, smart enough, you can figure out that when the light turns red, it means that you're in the right spot, that it'll start counting down before it gives you the puff of air. And I figured that out kind of quickly. Eventually, I got it done, but it took me longer than it probably should have. So they send me back out again to look at more styles, and that's when I run into the problem of realizing that I don't like anything in the women's department. I was looking for glasses that had like a thicker frame, was black, had like no designs on them, and were like square shaped. And that doesn't exist in the women's section. I take it back. It exists like 2 times. I found like 2 glasses in there. Both were like $200 that existed in the specifications that I was looking for. Not that it's a particularly bad thing, but the majority of women's glasses are like in navy blue or have rhinestones on the side. And I was like, I don't want that. I literally want nerd glasses, kind of, but I'll look good in them, and I do look good in them. I should also probably mention at this point that I don't plan on wearing my glasses in videos because they are for distance. And also, I will get contacts. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I am using contacts if we get them. My mom on the ride down to talking about contacts was like, yeah, some people can never use contacts. Like, your dad can't ever use them because he can't ever put anything close to his eye like that. And I'm like, I don't care if I can't put anything close to my eye. I'll figure it out. I'm not a fan of glasses, just like I wasn't a fan of my braces. I'm not entirely sure why, but I had a breakdown when I had to get my braces too. And it's weird, and it's stupid. And it's possibly stupider for the glasses. I think it's just the fact that I'm literally becoming the social archetype of a nerd. I have braces on both my upper and bottom layer of teeth. I'm going to be getting glasses. I'm in all honors classes, and I'm constantly stressed. And I'm a theater kid. Like, there's not much more I could add to my image besides getting a severe case of acne that would make me into a full-blown nerd. So I guess I'm just conscious of that. No, I think it's weird because when I got my braces, I knew that all my friends had them, and the logic that ended up getting me to, like, shut the heck up about it was that you literally have a ton of friends that have braces, and you don't think anything weird about them, but for some reason, I'll think something weird about myself. I don't know why. Maybe just because I have bad self-esteem. Yeah, that's probably it. That's definitely what it is. I think it's almost weirder with glasses because a lot of the people that I look up to in, like, as, like, celebrities also have glasses. Lin-Manuel Miranda has a pair of glasses. They doesn't wear them all that often. Markiplier has glasses now. Jacksepticeye has glasses. Everybody has glasses. Like, it is probably because all of us are, like, constantly typing at our computers or editing or stuff like that. But, you know, I should be wearing it as a badge of honor, and that's how I'll treat my glasses. As a badge of honor to say that I am officially a YouTuber or spend too much time typing on my computer. I'll wear it as a badge of honor. I think it's a good way to deal with this. Okay, so eventually the doctor takes me in, right? And I don't know if you've ever seen what a eye machine looks like, but they're terrifying. I don't know why. It looks like you can sit in and you just see everything everywhere and it's all metal and black and there's this big chair in the middle and there's like 3 different huge things that are like the size of my upper body that are like supposed to sit right in front of my face, and there's some like pointy stuff everywhere, and my first thought entering the room, not kidding, was if you touch my eye with something sharp, I will hit you. It's a little bit terrifying. Thankfully he only used one of the things, so I can't imagine what the other 2 were for, and I really don't want to, but still. As you sit down and he puts like lenses that he thinks would be good for you and what you need for your vision over your eye, and he's like, which one makes you see better, number 1 or number 2? And you're like, okay, clearly 2. And then he goes, okay, now number 2 or number 4? And you're like, they look identical. I almost, no joke, said once, you decide, before remembering that I am the one getting the glasses and he is not seeing what I'm seeing because I'm smart. Yeah, seriously, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty and he starts flipping between like 2 and 1 or 2 and 3, all of them look nearly identical. So you basically just kind of end up guessing just a little bit. Thing is also, both the nurse and him, or nurse, whatever, were eerily silent when doing it. So there's no like, oh, that looks okay. Oh, you're doing fine. Maybe it's just the fact that they already know that you're not fine, because otherwise you wouldn't be in their office trying to get glasses, so they already know something's wrong with you. The doctor was the scarier one though, because he did the thing where you sit in front of that and he's like, just stare right at my ear, and then just this light passes over your eye. And I don't know if that, what was that, radioactivity? How fast did you get that image? Apparently that was somehow scanning for infection. I have no idea how you would get that. These doctors, optometrists, checking. What are eye doctors called? Ophthalmologist? Osteopathic. Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologists are probably incredibly smart because I have no idea how in the short time that that light was passing over my eye, you managed to get a clear thing that I don't have any sort of infection or like internal disease messing my eyeballs up. He said that I didn't at the very end. He just kind of sits back and just goes, well, it looks like you have no infections or like problems in your eye. You just need glasses. And I'm like, good? I'll tell you what else is a little bit creepy. Going into a room with like a 60-year-old man and him closing the door on you while you know he's gonna be looking at your eyeballs and there's these huge metal things around you. That was terrifying experience for a little bit, you know? There's no cameras in here. I don't know what you're gonna do, but my feet were available to kick. Like I said, I did eventually end up deciding to go with men's glasses just because I thought that they looked a lot better on me than any of the female ones. It's just a thing. Also, I googled while I was there, basically the only difference between male and female frames is that the noses are wider, like the bridge, which was good because I happen to have a very wide nose for a female, so I would have felt more comfortable with those sorts of bridges anyway. And the only other difference was that men's eyes are sometimes a little bit farther apart and wider than females on the facial structure wise. So sometimes the actual glasses themselves are wider, which didn't end up being a thing that I had to deal with the pair that I chose. But that is all for my slightly terrifying and absolutely harrowing and self-deprecating trip to the ophthalmologist? Ophthalmologist. If you'd like, you can subscribe right here, and right here will be one of my videos, and right here will be the Adam Ruins Everything video that I mentioned. Thanks!